society today is built with very large centralized companies that are performing tasks for us. So for example, Google performs the task of keeping our records and data and giving us access to email and search, but we pay for it, right? We just don't pay it out of our pocket, we pay for it with other means. Banks do the same thing. They basically allow us to safely deposit our earnings, but we pay for it with the fact that unlike community banks, which used to take the profit and redistribute them back to the community, large banks today, global banks today, could care less about the communities that they operate in. All they care about is profit maximization. So just like the internet opened up the world and made it accessible to everybody, and I was lucky enough to work on one of those applications, Voice over IP, back in the early 90s, and gave it for free to the entire world to use. And now we can put money over IP. We can basically take out the toll collector, the bank, that takes 90% of the value of using our money. They're only giving us a fraction of what they make out of it. And we can do it in a peer-to-peer platform that is where you don't need to know the other person, right? So it's using the blockchain, using cryptocurrencies. We can use a trustless platform for all of us to huddle together, to use proof of stake, and enable all of us to reap the rewards, to benefit. What we created is a simple wallet that allows you to deposit cryptocurrency. You don't even need to know that they're cryptocurrency, because when somebody sends you $10, you don't know that underneath that is $10 worth of BTC or ETH or whatever you're using, but you know you're earning 5% interest. And you know if you took the same value and you put it in the bank, you would only get 1% interest per year, right? So now you're making 5 times more, and that money is being used to create value good in the world. Why? Because the community, the purpose of the community is to empower and bring people, be inclusive, because it's a win-win for the community. If you want the Bitcoin to be valuable, you need to bring a lot of people to use it. How do you bring people to use it? You give them much more than they get everywhere else. So it's a win-win. There is a scenario here where we all win and the banks lose. So the UN and other NGOs are all trying to find ways to take these dollars that they have and push them to, again, lift people out of poverty. But I think what you really need to give them is tools where the minute they see their balance increase, they all have smartphones, right? 90% of these people have smartphones. And when they can see that they got $5 and a month later they're $5.50, that makes their mind just work. They understand that suddenly when you realize that you can make money on your money, that your money works for you instead of you working for your money, then your eyes lit up and you say, oh, now I understand how the 1% got to be so rich. They just don't want us to know the secret. So, you know, my father told me a long time ago, he said, I'm not going to teach you how to eat fish. I'm going to teach you how to fish, right? So you can catch your own fish. And that's what we need to do here. We need to include these 3.5 billion people that are currently not part of our GDP. They're not part of society. And we need to lift them into the middle class, and the world is going to be a much better place. All these people, I'm not going to name names, but all these crazy people who think that immigration or bringing immigrants or including immigrants in this and that in the economy is a bad thing, don't understand how America was created. There were only Indians in this country. Everybody here is an immigrant, and everybody who came created value. Most of these were people that no one wanted anywhere else, right? So intelligence is distributed equally across the planet. It's not like the US has some exclusive right for intelligence. There's just as much IQ in Africa as it is in any average city in the United States. What they don't have is the opportunity. And the opportunity here is to take cryptocurrencies, open ledger, and enable these people to learn how to fish instead of begging for a fish every day and having us, USAID and everybody else, just dump food on them and hope that that's going to cure all the ills of society. So like WhatsApp and like other companies that were created with the purpose of creating a community, our purpose is not to create profits. Our purpose is to create the world's largest community that uses cryptocurrencies, right? So our goal is to bring 100 million people into crypto, and if we're successful at that, that by itself is going to lift all the value of all the coins that are listed in our wallets. Because, you know, if you have so many users, by definition, and there's limited supply of coins, by definition, the value of the coins will increase. So I try to communicate that during my presentation today, and I hope I did a good job, because most people don't understand that. Most people think that if they just trade a little bit harder, or if they don't sleep at night and they click the button 100 more times, they're going to magically create value. The value is created by many, many more people joining and using it, just like many people join and use the US dollar. The US dollar started as an illegal coin minted by colonies who were fighting it out against the British. And now it's the reserve currency of the planet. So there's a good chance that this Bitcoin, which is also in many countries an illegal coin, is going to become the reserve currency of the planet. But it's only going to happen if we all join in and adopt it instead of all the other things that we're using, where again, all the value is extracted by middlemen and by toll collectors who are not acting in our best interest. We haven't found a killer app that is obvious that everybody can use every day to really transact with each other, right? And we're all working on it. I mean, there's 5,000 ICO experiments that are all saying, oh, it's real estate, oh, it's healthcare, oh, it's Beanie Babies, I don't know what. But we have to see if this Cambrian explosion of innovation is going to produce the Netscape moment, right? When the browser showed up in 1995, 100 million people downloaded it like this. And from that moment on, it was obvious what the future looked like. That moment has not yet happened in crypto. And that's what has to happen. So I think what Celsius is doing with self-pay and with lending and with paying interest are the foundation of these killer apps. But you know, anyone out there who has a better idea, I'm happy to include it in the wallet and push it out to everybody out there, or support them in their effort as well. This is all about the community winning. It's not about me winning or somebody else winning. It's about this community winning the asset, the accumulation, the inclusion that we're all trying to create in a world where everybody else is trying to exclude everybody. You didn't have to really trust the Netscape browser. Here, you have to trust us not to steal your money.
That's right.
Right? Which is a much higher bar to pass. So a lot of people, when you ask them, hey, why are you giving the money to the bank? They pay you nothing. Celsius pay you 5%. They say, well, 5%, but I don't trust them. I trust the bank. Even though I know they're ripping me off. I hate them, right? I still trust them more than Celsius. So we need to fix that problem, right? There was a survey done recently where they asked millennials all the things they don't like, right? And they got to banks and they said, how much you don't like going to a bank branch? Is it bad as, you know, they start measuring it. Then they got to the dentist. They said, where would you rather go? To the dentist or to the bank? And most millennials said the dentist. That's how bad it is, but we have to produce an alternative that they all can look and say, yes, it's doing well and doing good for society. I'm going to trust my savings here instead of giving it to this monolithic bank, too big to fail. People who blew up the entire world economy several times, and you know, they flipped the coin, blew up the economy, we bailed them out, and now they're making record bonuses, and we're paying for it. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
They're doing it all over.
And we're going to do it all over again, exactly. So I'm mad as hell. I'm not going to take this anymore, and I'm doing something about it.